too far to go now, Professor. The tracks start just ahead there.
Sheriff, I want you to show me the exact location where Jennifer's prints come to an end.
All right. Here's the tree where her recorder was found. Her camera was discovered just about 10 yards further up the trail. I made sure everything got cordoned off so as to protect the site. I didn't want anyone messing with this place before you got here.
Well, I guess that explains all the yellow tape. Looks like a crime scene, only just a little eerier than normal.
Yeah, it isn't exactly your typical one, that's for sure. Okay, here we are. This is where Jennifer's prints come to a stop.
Okay, let's stop here for a minute. I want to take a look at something.
What are you checking?
I'm measuring the depth of the creature's footprints before and after he picked Jennifer up. Any change in depth indicates extra weight being carried by the Sasquatch.
Well, what if he just happens to land one foot harder than another? You know, a deeper step. That would cause a deeper impact all by itself.
Well, that's true, Sheriff, but an occasional heavier step would be just that, occasional. The depth of each print would be very inconsistent with a deeper one here or there, but not constant. But if this is where he picked her up and started carrying her, then the change in depth would occur right here between the step before and the step after Jennifer's last print. See? Look here. The print before Jennifer's last step is a half-inch deep in the soil. The same is true with the two steps before this one. Now look at the next one, after Jennifer's prints disappear. You see there?
3/4 of an inch. I see what you mean.
Now let's suppose your theory's true, that it was just one heavier step than the other before it. Here, check the depth of this one.
3/4.
And this one.
3/4.
And one more.
And another 3/4. Professor, this is amazing.
With the prints back there being a half-inch deep in this kind of soft soil, that gives us a creature of about 400 pounds. That increases our creature's weight by some 100 to 120 pounds. You wouldn't happen to know Jennifer's body weight, would you, Sheriff?
Yeah, I have a list of her stats right here in my pocket notebook. I'll tell you, Professor, you hit the bullseye on this one, and I'm buying dinner tonight. Let's see here. Age, eyes, hair color. Here it is. Body weight. 115 pounds.
Bullseye.
Professor, I must say I am impressed.
Why, thank you, Sheriff. Oh, by the way, I like my steaks medium rare, and my lobsters well done. Sheriff, did you say there were tracks on the other side of the river as well?
Yes, there are.
Is the soil pretty much the same there as it is here?
Yeah, pretty much. Everywhere around here, it's all soft dirt or sand.
Do you remember when you said you were concerned about whether the Sasquatch carried Jennifer across the river, or if he stopped to drown her?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, we can answer that question by looking at the prints on the other side of the river. Can you take me to them?
Sure can. Follow me.
Well, Sheriff, you're right. This soil is identical to that on the other side of the river.
Yeah, the whole area is loaded with this stuff. If a robber or a runaway wanted to hide your tracks, this is definitely the wrong place to run through.
Okay, so we'll take some depth measurements of the first 3 or 4 prints. 3/4, he still has her. 1/2 inch, he drowned her in the river.
Okay, here. The first print is right there, and then they go all the way to the rocks up there, and then disappear.
Let's see. There's one, and there's another. There's a third one, and one more.
Well, Prof, what's the verdict?
The verdict is they're all 3/4 inch. He still has her.
When I first met him, even before I knew his name, I remember him talking about this wonderful man, his grandfather. I'm so...
We interrupt our regular programming for a special breaking news report from KRQR News. Here is Michelle Sirico.
KRQR News has just learned of the capture and arrest of the man who was responsible for the placement of several cameras and microphones within the Bigfoot Research Lab run by Professor Jonathan Dalton. The capture and arrest occurred following a DNA test on a strand of hair discovered inside the ceiling of the research lab. The suspect, whose name is currently being withheld by authorities, has been nicknamed the Thug, and was captured and arrested inside an abandoned cabin on Old Frontage Road at 5:39 a.m. this morning. Inside that same cabin, police also discovered and confiscated 12 pipe bombs, 5 hand grenades, over 1,000 rounds of ammunition, 1,200 feet of primacord, and over 500, yes, you heard it right, over 500 sticks of dynamite. Whoever this is obviously meant business. Police are interested in finding out if this thug was the only one connected to the break-in at the lab, or if there are others involved. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. From the KRQR Newsroom, I'm Michelle Sirico.
Red, what the heck are you barking at out there? Red! I'll tell you, a girl can't even sleep in a little with all that loud yapping. Red, what's got you all riled up this morning? Huh? What happened? You see another raccoon? I told you to leave them alone, but do you listen? Red, quiet down! What in the world is your problem? What are you doing, boy? What's got you all fired up? Oh, I think I see it. Yep, there they are. Footprints going right through my garden. And looky there. The apples and peanut butter are gone too. Old Squatch must have paid us a little visit. Well, no wonder you were yapping your head off. Old Squatch always knows how to push your buttons, doesn't he? It doesn't matter how many times you've seen him. It never fails. You always go to yapping. Well, come on in here and I'll make your breakfast. I'll tell you, every time old Bigfoot wanders by, you act as if this entire wilderness is caving in around you. You gotta learn to calm down and just let him be. He ain't doing nothing wrong. Now, of course, the other day, now that was a bit different. That was worth getting riled up over. Yes, sir, that was a whole different kettle of fish that day. What now, Red? What's going on, boy? What do you see? Red, I've told you not to bother the squirrels. They're just... Oh, it's old Bigfoot. What's he got there? It's a woman. Now, what do you suppose he's doing with her? They're both soaking wet. They must have gone through the river. I know, Red. There's nothing we can do about it. You just gotta let him go. Poor girl. Why, it's not every day you see a Bigfoot carrying a woman. No, sir. Yup, that was just a mite different, that's for sure. It's been, 2 days since it happened? And no sign of her since. There's just no telling what he's done with her.
It's captivity day 2 for Jennifer Sims as local law enforcement personnel continue the search this afternoon, which began yesterday. Also, the head of the local Bigfoot Research Lab, Jonathan Dalton, has teamed up with officials to aid in the search. He says Sims was not drowned in the river as previously thought, and according to Professor Dalton, the proof is in the prints.
If you look at the depth of the footprints before and after the creature picked Jennifer up, you'll see the definite change from a half inch to 3/4 of an inch. This indicates a sudden weight increase. Now the soil on the other side of the river is exactly the same as it is on this side. It's no softer, no harder. So if the creature had come up out of the water without her, his prints would be back to the original half inch deep.
How deep are the prints on the other side?
3/4 of an inch.
Which would mean he didn't drown her?
That's correct. The depth of the prints on the other side indicate he was still carrying her.
Professor Dalton, do you have any idea where he might have taken her?
Very far away.
Brookdale Police, in coordination with local Sheriff Mac McCluskey and Bigfoot researcher Jonathan Dalton, are involved in the ongoing search for former KRQR reporter Jennifer Sims. According to the evidence, Sims was reportedly kidnapped by a Bigfoot, taken across the Shady River, and into the wilderness. We're about to head into the second night in which no one knows the whereabouts of Jennifer Sims. Sims was kidnapped by a Bigfoot 2 days ago and has not been seen since. Authorities found no signs of Sims in the river, but are certain she was taken deeper into the wilderness.
As darkness falls on Brooksdale tonight, there continues to be no sign of Jennifer Sims, other than this eerie set of fading footprints left behind over 48 hours ago. Law enforcement personnel have covered mile after grueling mile of forest land with not even a clue as to her location. Unfortunately, after 2 days of no results, her footprints may not be the only things that are fading. The other thing that is fading is hope. Reporting from along the Shady River, just outside of Brooksdale, I'm Michelle Sirico.
Good morning, Professor.
Morning, Jerry.
You must have gotten back pretty late last night.
Yeah, that investigation took all day. And then it seemed like every TV and radio station in the state wanted a piece of me. By the time I was done, it was bedtime and then some.
Yeah, I must have been dead to the world because I didn't hear you come in at all. Hey, what happened to breakfast? I don't smell anything cooking.
That's right, you don't. That's because I'm treating you to breakfast out this morning. Pancakes, eggs, bacon, whatever you want, with all the trimmings at the Bigfoot Diner, just like I promised.
Hey, that's right. Sure, I'm up for it. What happened yesterday, anyway?
Well, let's get this breakfast train rolling first. I'll tell you everything when we get there. Before he picked her up were a half inch deep. The ones after he picked her up were 3/4. Even the prints on the other side of the river were 3/4. That's how I knew he still had her.
You know, it's amazing what you can learn from a simple set of footprints.
Yeah, the sheriff was pretty impressed with my technique. And proving it even got me a free dinner, too.
Oh, yeah? And just how did you manage that?
Hold it, listen.
Hold it down, people.
Former KRQR TV anchor Jennifer Sims has been found alive, exhausted, but unharmed after 3 days of captivity at the hands of a Sasquatch. She was discovered by a local hiker this morning in the exact same location she was abducted from less than 72 hours ago. Another set of large footprints were also found leading up to and away from where she was discovered, indicating that the one who abducted her also brought her back. Sims is currently undergoing a checkup at Brooksdale Medical Center. Once again, Jennifer Sims has been found alive and unharmed after 3 days of captivity and is currently undergoing a medical checkup. This is the All News Now radio network.
Well, don't that beat all? Well, that sure puts a bright spot into the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, what do you know about that? You know, if Jennifer didn't know a lot about Bigfoot before, I'll bet she has a truckload of knowledge now.
Yeah, she probably does. And I have a feeling we'll be finding her on our doorstep PDQ. With all of what she's just been through, I'm sure she's gonna want to tell somebody. And we're most likely at the top of her list.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, let's get a move on. We'll get a doggy bag and you can bring the leftovers home. With the amount of food you ordered, you probably have enough there for lunch too. Waitress, check please. Jerry, I need to stop off at the gas station. The tank's getting a tad low.
Oh, good. That'll give me a chance to run in and get a snack.
A snack? Why, you just had pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, orange juice. How do you even have room for a snack?
Hey, I've been cooped up in your house for days now. A guy can only live so long on raisins, grapes, and applesauce. You may like all that healthy, nutritious stuff, but I need some ding-dongs in my life.
Ding-dongs, huh? Well, everybody has a weakness, I suppose.
Hey, I'll have you know I was the ding-dong king of Brooksdale Elementary in 1990 at the tender age of 9. I downed 37 ding-dongs in 4.5 minutes. Second place wasn't even close.
What'd you win?
A giant bronze ding-dong, $25 in cash, and bragging rights for the rest of the year.
Anything else?
Yeah, a whopper of a stomachache and an all-day meeting with a guy named John. I was drinking Pepto-Bismol like it was soda. 3 days and 5 toilet paper rolls later, I felt about 75% better. I couldn't even look at a ding-dong for a month without getting sick. That weekend after the contest, I was watching TV and The Wizard of Oz came on. You know that song they sing? Ding Dong, the witch is dead? The second I heard it, I had to run to the bathroom. Ended up missing a half hour of the movie. After that, I promised myself I'd hold down to 2 ding-dongs a week. No more.
Oh, yeah? And how's that been working out for you?
Very well, actually. Before I started staying at your house, I'd been having 2 ding-dongs a week for the last 25 years. Now I'm overdue and having withdrawals. They're my life source, man. Last blood work I had showed 1/3 blood and 2/3 chocolate mixed with cream filling.
Why, you're just a regular walking sugar factory, aren't you?
Yeah, the neighbor's dog keeps showing up at the door trying to lick me. Bears follow me around in the woods, and I'm a magnet for bees. I think I've become their chief supplier of nectar. The way I got it figured, if I live long enough, all the honey this side of the Rockies will eventually taste like ding-dongs.
I guess that makes you the hostess with the mostest and the King Kong of Ding Dong.
Oh, that was excellent. You had to dig pretty deep for that one, didn't you?
Yeah, just a little. Okay, here's the gas station. There's $35 in the envelope between the seats. Go in there and get what you want.
With $35? Gee, thanks.
No, 30 for gas. The other 5 is for you, you ding-dong.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You certainly do. Now get in there and take care of it.
Okay, I'll make a dash with the cash and be back in a flash.
Sometimes I wonder about that boy.
Hey Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Jeff. Hey, did you hear about that report this morning about the news reporter Jennifer Sims?
Yeah, man. Kidnapped by a Bigfoot, then returned right to the same place again? That's insane.
Yeah, if I'd been there with my gun when it came back, I would have blown its ugly head clean up.
Yeah, me too, man. I would have put some lead right between its eyes. I wonder how much money a guy could get for one of them.
Oh yeah, man. There's probably worth like a few million at least.
You think so? Boy, that makes me want to go out and find one and kill it. And drag it through the wilderness and show all the Squatches what happens when they mess with one of our own.
More power to you, buddy. Hey, I gotta run. I'll see you later.
Yeah, okay, man. Down the road, man.
Stupid losers. If I could ever get my hands on them,
Hey, Professor, the Ding Dong Man is back.
If you ever sneak up on me like that again, I'll ding-dong you right in the nose.
Wow, sorry. What's got you so riled up?
Just get in the truck, Jerry. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Hey Roy, look at this.
What is it?
It's an info sheet on the guy who blew up that plane last week. You know, the one with no survivors. Just came in from the FBI. I guess they've been digging into this creep's past, and they found out he's also connected to the explosion at the Brooksdale post office. Attempted murder charges have already been filed against him.
Regis Blackstone? Huh. Even the very name sounds ominous. Age 53, height 6'5", weight 230, hair, eyes, yada yada yada. Yeah, he sounds like your typical power-hungry maniac. They're a dime a dozen.
Roy, I think you missed something.
I did?
Yeah, at the bottom. His employment location and employer.
Location, top secret. Employer, top secret. What? You mean even the FBI couldn't crack this?
Are you kidding? The FBI was lucky to get what they did on this guy. He has more layers around him than an onion, and the onion smells better. Apparently this guy's level of security clearance reaches all the way to the moon, one of the highest in the country. I mean, even if he was working for NASA, it wouldn't say top secret. But for some reason, nobody knows anything about him, and nobody can touch him. Whoever this guy works for, he's very, very big.
Things are not going as I originally planned. There are too many loose ends. First, Mr. Persistent Charlie Holmes goes missing and is still who knows where. Then Little Miss Nosy News Jennifer Sims gets kidnapped by a Bigfoot. And like a fool, he releases her. Now she's going to blab everything she knows to every media outlet she can get her grubby little hands on. These two are making my job a lot more difficult than it should be. It makes me nervous just knowing that they're out there, somewhere. The government has known about Bigfoot for decades, and they believe he is real. But we can't afford to allow the general public to know it too. Fear would ensue throughout the population. And no one would want to go into the wilderness now, would they? No more fishing. No more hunting. No more logging. No more money. There are three things for sure. Charlie Holmes must be found. Jennifer Sims must be silenced. And the release of the undeniable truth about Bigfoot must be stopped. Because he said so. Yes, Mr. President?